Hi, I'm back. Welcome to the Challenger series. But today, I'm not going to be joined by Hindu Man. I'm going to be joined by F Swag, your boy, also streaming on Smite Game now, doing other stuff. Join me for our semifinals and our finals. We're going into Team Salt versus Blood, Bath, and Beyond.
Yeah, this is going to be an exciting matchup. Some of our two of our more exciting teams, if I do say so. Team Salt, with a lot of names that people might recognize from the competitive scene, and Bloodbath and Beyond, just a team that really knows how to play. So this is going to be an exciting matchup as we get pulled right into the lobby. Cret, why don't you introduce our two teams?
Team Salt is going to be Nithra, aka Mytheria, NJ Nicholas, aka Nick, you know, the guy from Snipe, like Nick. Jigs, who's a guy that's hung out with Dare to Care's Dolby back when that was super popular. Astro Squared, aka Air Cougar, because everyone still calls him that. Janin, who also hung out in Dare to Care's Dolby. On the other side is Bloodbath and Beyond, Master Show, Famous Hate, Reverbo, Chaos, and El Chapo. El Chapo, formerly of Torch, leaving during the play-ins. The rest of these players are amateur players, but they're also pretty good.
Yeah, pretty exciting to say the least. The first two bans are out for Team Salt, and that's going to be Ra and Loki. And on the way of Bloodbath and Beyond, we already have the Circuit ban, which is probably most important. There's a lot of player skill that goes into that, but once you have that, it's very scary. Thinking about their last ban is Master for Show, top pick for Bloodbath and Beyond.
Ra is a character we've seen be very, very powerful today. Loki also doing rather well. Athena and Circuit banned away. Circuit is such a strong character.
That is... yes. Circuit has the capability to take out 20% of your HP with a single basic attack. Granted, it's not the easiest thing in the world, which is what we keep stressing. We keep talking about the skill ceiling for Circuit, but once you really approach that, it's absolutely insane.
Well, Mercury first picked, very powerful, able to be put in multiple roles, so we could see the Mercury Hunter, Bloodbath and Beyond locking in Geb and Nuwa. No Ra available, so Team Salt might have some trouble sustaining through the massive damage from Nuwa's ultimate. It might not be big individual damage, but across an entire team, it certainly does add up.
Definitely does. These picks have come out really quickly. This is really the first time we're looking at the teams really think and process what they want to pick. Mercury, Geb, and Nuwa were all picked out very quickly. Team Salt switching a number of times onto that mage, and it looks like they do want Bacchus and Zhang Kui. So I'm going to go ahead and say if Reverbo right here doesn't select a Nemesis crit, that Team Salt will be banning the Nemesis for sure.
Yeah, I definitely want to agree with that. Nemesis hovered, locked in. People are learning. They know.
They are
Zhang Kui,
learning.
Nemesis every time. Geb has the ban available. What's he going to get rid of? ADC? Unlikely. Jungle? Possibility. Mid? So here's the thing. The remaining picks for both teams are either mid or solo and ADC. So when they ban, they're banning against themselves and their opponents. Bloodbath and Beyond takes away Agni. That means if they have Nuwa as their mid laner, that ban doesn't affect them. But what if Team Salt plan on giving Zhang Kui to NJ Nick?
Yeah, I mean, Zhang Kui can go in either solo lane, whether it's a solo lane or the middle lane. So that is
same
true.
with Nuwa.
Yeah,
same with Nuwa.
Team Salt is essentially both of the characters that aren't Bacchus are just ambiguous. So it's putting Bloodbath and Beyond in an interesting spot. Banning out the Agni is where that's probably the safest ban, honestly. And they're going to select Rom. Rom is a character, Rom's really interesting, Cret. You know, we see him absolutely destroy the SPL, and nobody bans him. We don't see a lot of bans, even in the Challenger series of Rom. And here he is being picked up, and I wonder what Bloodbath and Beyond will be able to do with him, because he's performed well in almost every time we've seen him.
Yeah, looking at Rom in the SPL, he is rocking a 65% pick ban rate and a 50% run rate, which is certainly pretty good. Uller, on the other hand, 50% pick ban rate, but looking at it, I see only a 16% win rate. Not doing so well is the Uller. Yanis is going to be a pick for Team Salt. And I hope that's for Nick. I really want to see what Nick can do with Yanis.
Yeah, I mean, Nick is a person that you might not be too familiar with if you're just new to the scene, but Nick used to play middle lane for Smite for a brief period of time, and actually went to the LAN event, the launch tournament, with that middle laner Nick, and performed outstandingly. Smite might have lost, but Nick was a very big part of that team, specifically Isis and Agni, but just in general, good at the position. So we are going to see that Giannis on Nick, and this is really the first time we get to see Nick play the new character that's strong. And I mean, you don't need to be an algebra major to realize that strong character plus strong player equals something to be afraid of.
On the other side, Chalk will be the last pick for Bloodbath and Beyond to round out their team composition with a tanky solo laner to sort of match off against Zhang Kuei. Zhang could have some trouble in this game. Bacchus has to go in and sort of help him out, right? But with the Divine Judgment, damage from Nua, the potential damage from Rob, Zhang could have trouble doing his job, standing next to people and hitting all of those pesky skill shots. We're going to be heading into our match in just a few minutes, guys, so stay tuned for Team Salt versus Bloodbath and Beyond in your semifinals of the Challengers Cup Week 1.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to your first semifinals of the North American Challenger Cup Series. My name is F. I'm joined here by my co-caster, Kret, and we're about to get underway with Team Salt versus Bloodbath and Beyond.
Team Salt in the blue, Trunks Astro Squared, playing your solo lane, Zhang Kuei. In the middle lane, NJ Nicholas, your boy, formerly of Snipe, playing in the launch tournament on Yanis. In the jungle, it's Nithra. On Mercury, a personal friend of mine, Mytheria, not a particularly good player. No, he's actually very skilled, so I can't wait to see what he can do in the support role. Jigs on Bacchus and Janin on Uller.
Both teams are all grouped up as five, all grouped up ready to do something. Really, basically what we see here are teams like to ward. We originally called it the Anatoly ward because he was the one that started it despite being a solo laner. But what happens is supports tend to go purchase wards, rush out of base, drop it, and then back so that they can buy both potions. And these days, it's a group effort because nobody wants to be caught out alone. So both teams say hello to each other on the left side of the map and then retreat and play it safe.
Yeah, that safe play is likely going to extend into the first buff camp clears. I don't think we've seen... No, we have seen one level 1 invade today on the left-hand side from return. But for the most part, we haven't had really an invade-filled day. I don't think Team Salt's going to go for that invade. They're definitely sizing up Bloodbath and Beyond right now, and they're seeing just what they're going to need to do to get this W.
Minions spawning in about 5 seconds. Taking a look, both teams are really set up in a standard set. I guess with the exception of Bloodbath and Beyond, they have 3 people here. Now, Reverbo's going to go back and solo the blue as normal, but he'll actually get a little bit of bonus XP from those mid camps. So, splitting it 3 ways, but sharing is the way to victory for some teams. And now middle lane is already underway as the rest of the places fall into spot.
Yeah, and it looks like it's going to be a fairly equal arrival time in the solo lane. In the duo lane, though, there is definitely a big slowdown between Bloodbath and Beyond and Team Salt. That's the nature of the orange side of the map, where you just kind of get to lane a little bit later, but you have more native experience because of what you've picked up along the way. Rotating out of solo already, El Chapo on Nemesis.
Yeah, El Chapo making the early exit, something he's very accustomed to. He's going to get a little bit of poke onto NJ Nick, and we're going to see a little bit of poke backwards as well. Good portal, and El Chapo going to pay for that early exit, and he's going to have about 30% HP, and he's going to find his way into the jungle.
He took a tower shot there, just put one foot in the wrong place, and it's going to punish him for a while. That potentially slows down his ability to clear multiple camps or gank after some clear. In the middle lane, Nithra is just showing up to get some farm, and Nick and Nith are going to head towards the red buff and clear that one together.
Duo lane sitting here, both even, really no openings for either team to start aggressing, but they're going to take it anyway. Jig's going to jump up, but a good shield from Reverbo onto himself going to prevent the knockup and any real aggression coming out that way. So
red buff getting cleared by both junglers in the left jungle. Nemesis El Chapo sitting at about 400 health, wants to go aggressive 3v2. Jigs jumps in at the wrong time as El Chapo shows up. Jigs is taking damage. He's not drunk at all, so it's full amount, and Jigs will get very low, taken down. But the rotation coming in, NJ Nicholas and Nithra, can they turn this around? Unstable Vortex finds the hit. Nice shield.
Mytheria is thinking about using the ult, but as the players are under tower, you really at level 5 don't have the sustain to go underneath and chase a kill. So that's going to be that. Bloodbath and Beyond collects 1 kill for Team Salt's 0, and that's the way the red team is going to want to start things out powerful and with abundance.
First blood, such an important objective. Nithra heading back in the jungle. He's gonna clear this with his support just to supplement that farm a little bit and keep Jigs in the game. Unfortunately for Bacchus, he's very powerful when he jumps in, but if you jump in at the wrong time, you can be punished, and we just saw it. And without his passive, he just takes kind of a lot of damage. He gets 14% damage reduction from his passive alone, which is a lot.
Very true. Both of these mid camps are about to spawn. Left should go to Reverbo, no problem. Right's on the other side. Looks like Bloodbath and Beyond wants to make something happen, and they will. Ultimate coming out from Nemesis. Good portal from Nicholas is going to make him get away, no problem. And Jig's just going to basically be Bacchus, and that alone is going to deter the enemy from really chasing much there. But Hog went out, and Bloodbath and Beyond take both middle camps.
No. Team Salt got right. Yeah, Team Salt got right. And a big part of that was the rotation from Jean-Qui, Astro on the right-hand side, following that Storm Call coming down, meant that Bloodbath and Beyond had to fall back. If they didn't move back immediately, once Astro started ulting, started hitting those skill shots, they didn't really have a good way to disengage. So they really needed to respect Astro there. And to their credit, they did. That said, just First Blood has been decided so far. It's a 500 gold and 800 experience lead, the kind of lead that you want to turn into something better. But Bloodbath and Beyond, when's their next opportunity going to be?
Taking a look at the map, and they do have First Blood, which is going to net them very negligible lead. I think their next opportunity to really do something is, again, going to be in this duo lane. You take a look at solo lane, there's really not going to be many options there. Middle lane is always dangerous to fight in. So I think the way that they're going to move their lead forward is just playing this duo lane correctly.
Now, I do want to mention the way that the First Blood kill went down. I don't want to say it was luck. It was well played and well organized, but it was fortunate that Jigs went in the moment that El Chapo showed up, allowing El Chapo to essentially counter gank, which is where Nemesis is most effective. When she tries to just straight up gank a lane, it's like, oh, she's slowing me. Let me just use sprint and walk away. But when you've already committed, maybe use some actives or use your movement abilities, and you no longer have a way to get back out, that's when Nemesis showing up can really throw a wrench in your plan. So I want to see Bloodbath and Beyond looking to get those counter ganks off, but with the global presence of Mercury, Team Salt is really good at starting ganks.
Yeah, without a doubt. Mercury prepping that ultimate. He sees Reverbo coming in, opting to play more defensively, and they're going to sit underneath tower. They saw Reverbo, and they wanted to engage. And they saw El Chapo behind him, and they immediately changed their mind based on that alone. So they knew that they didn't want to do it. El Chapo coming, taking a look at Speed Cam, and just, again, Jigs' presence is going to shake off the enemy jungler, and she's instead going to wait and see if she can find something in middle lane.
NJ Nicholas, notice how he's just hovering close to the walls just in case something surprises him. He's got a portal option to get out. Probably going to try and use his first portal get out if at all possible, saving the CC immunity, or, potentially the need for a second portal. Sometimes you portal once and you're like, oh god, there's a chalk here, and you need to portal back. with your ultimate. But rotating through for the right mid camps, Nithra is gonna pull Hog on one. Divine Judgment comes down. Nithra is gonna dash away the special delivery, jump in from Jigs, gets another mid camp, I believe, and through space and time, not really gonna find the damage they wanted. Astra's in the front line, needs to reposition because Geb's coming around from the back. Nice Cataclysm. Rico Demons comes out, but Stormcall on top. Sonic Boom coming through, big damage. Astro finds the first kill. Nuaz up in the air, but is only gonna do about 100 damage. Nithra getting these auto attacks off. Special delivery into Reverbo. Reverbo will fall, and now it's just Master Show. He will have a Thunderstrike soon, but will it be soon enough as he's just below 100 health? Rom has rotated to the middle lane. His ultimate is available, and Team Salt has to be careful.
Yeah, Team Salt is going to play this smart, and they're going to instead walk away. They really don't want to mess with a full HP, ready to go Famous Hate. You know, that's just dangerous right there, and they're going to go ahead and clear out their jungle buff. You know, that through space and time, Cret, we always talk about using utility moves for utility. That could have been a different play altogether, but instead they opted for the damage, and, you know, it's interesting. Nick is doing things that make me think that he is a seasoned Giannis player. Hanging close to the walls, using all of his abilities correctly. And then you see that ultimate, it kind of makes me think it was a team mistake, not an individual mistake. Like they wanted to pump out damage, and he went with that. That said, his individual mechanics are really on fire for the first 7 minutes of this game. So as we see more and more team fights, I'm really going to be paying attention to the playstyle of this Giannis.
Yeah, definitely. The ultimate is so strong because, first of all, you can use it to rotate. Of course, you fire at a team fight, hope you hit someone, and then definitely rotate over to help. But sometimes, you know, if there's a team fight in the jungle and you can fire your ultimate from a way where it creates new paths for your team to peel for themselves, get out, get in, that could be really strong. Through space and time, over to the duo lane. Not quite going to connect with Famous Hate, but the gank squad is coming. Mercury ultimate is available. No special delivery. Famous Hate uses beads. Only one ultimate used. I don't think the cost was too high for that really cool gank.
Yeah, one of the big things about Giannis that actually changes the middle lane position
is that Sonic Boom left hand side. Mercury's going really aggressive. Robo forced to use Cataclysm. Sonic Boom is down. Jigs does have Intoxicate, but he's not going to get the stun there, and it will be okay.
That's just Geb.
Yeah, basically.
Gem Shield cleansing CC, ladies and gentlemen. But as we were saying, you know, there's always a downside to rotating as the middle lane. Basically, what happens is you rotate in an effort to get a gank, which can do a lot for you. However, when you lose a wave or two of farm, as a Giannis, you don't. You ult over there, you run out, and then you can portal long distances if you know the map correctly, and that winds up where you are. Speaking of winding up where you are, Netheria is getting aggressed on by El Chapu. Already has Divine Judgment out. Couple of basics and the clap. And Netheria is going to be able to get away. No problem. El Chapu not able to really secure many of these kills past that first blood.
But it's fine because he actually got both mid camps for his aggression. Now El Chapo getting aggressive again will be able to jump away. So you know what? I want to call that nice usage of a Divine Judgment because it just secured him in camp. NJ Nick, nice damage. Stone Shield was better, but okay, that says two things. First of all, that's a max range unstable vortex, which is really impressive. It might have double tapped. Second of all, clearly Reverbo's maxing Stone Shield because it mitigated an entire unstable vortex with a double tap.
You know, I like that move, Cred. A lot of players opt to go for the damage, which is always the more obvious approach, as Jaden really takes a look at this blue buff invade over here. You know, we see Ymir's maxing their Glacial Strike, and we see Athena's maxing Shield Wall. I like the move to maxing the utility ability on Geb. I think that's a really appropriate way to go, especially when you're against a team that has the likes of a Giannis.
Yeah, I agree. I think there's some situations where you might want that damage, because let's be honest, Shockwave does a lot. 370 base. Hold on, left-hand lane, Famous Hate in trouble. 200 health, 100 getting very low. Nuaz gonna ult, but not really a good use of it. And, you know, it doesn't peel. It does damage.
Yeah, I mean, that new ult hits everybody, and it's about the threat. Good ultimate onto Netheria. He's already low. El Chapu gets stunned out by the Jigs player over there. Good ultimate from Master for Show on the other side. Still aggressing on that Mercury. Well, in the back, Bacchus gets punched by 3 different members in red, but he's tanky already with that passive, so he's going to be able to get out unless Master for Show has something to say about it. But that's going to be 2 low health members of blue. Team Salt getting away for absolutely no problem. And Bloodbath and Beyond again drop a couple of kills.
Yeah, Bloodbath and Beyond aren't able to find those kills there. But, you know, Team Salt didn't come out of it as unscathed as they might have liked. Jigs and Nithra are very low. And if they weren't, or if they had a Ra on the team, which of course would make the fight completely different. But my point is, they almost had the opportunity to do Gold Fury. They didn't quite have the health pool that they wanted to go for it. And that's a little unfortunate. Still, 3 kills to 1. Team Salt looking good. Gold is even. Experience is in favor of Salt.
12 minutes in, the game is generally tied up. We see experience on the way of Team Salt, as Kret just let us know, but everything else seems to be, for the most part, about even. Really no map pressure that's on either side. Middle lane for Red Team. Red Team has a little bit more damage on mid tower, but that's really finding something to pick out. And as we see both mid camps spawning, both teams are getting in position. You know, both teams really here, both red and blue, have really been good at finding positioning before these mid camps spawn. And we're already up to the 4th group.
4th set of mid camp spawning in just a few moments. There, the left hand side. Gonna go to Salt, right to Bloodbath and Beyond. Trading again. Reverbo, it's gonna try and counter ward, and he's not gonna be able to get it. Oh, that's not a sentry. Oh, that's unfortunate. So sentry versus non-sentry, but they're keeping the ward alive. Fun fact, doesn't matter in this game, but it's fun. You can heal wards.
Interesting.
Like a raw heal would heal that ward up to full. It's really funny. Support Odin, he'd go to counter ward, and since he doesn't do damage, you just heal the ward up. It's really funny.
Reverbo actually went back and did kill that ward, so that's what you get for not having a sentry. You know, you take a look at the SPL players, and a couple of the SPL players averaged about 6 or 7 sentry wards purchased a game.
Yeah.
And with a lot of those games ending before the, 50-minute mark, which is really where everybody starts buying, 6 wards a game, we're talking an average of 35 minutes a game. 6 sentry wards, you should start buying them now. So that's a big boy play coming out from Reverbo, already having that sentry ward on lock.
Yeah, I mean, it's just you put them where you don't want your opponents to have vision. Obviously, the Gold Fury is a good spot. There are a few others. Right now, though, I mean, the big thing about any Mercury team is the ability to ult up a lane. And so the gank paths for Mercury are not different, but more numerous. He has more options. In the left-hand lane, a more standard gank path is El Chapo is lurking in the jungle, but he realizes he's not going to go in. Spotted out, rotating back over towards the middle lane where Nicholas is hovering around. Will get flanked. Divine Judgment comes through, getting to the wall, but destroyed. Wow.
Just not a lot going on right there for his life. Reverbo trying to make the same thing happen to Mercury. Hits by the Geb ult, and there's a good Intoxicate. But Jigs already trying to make it out. Famous Hate gets the snipe on a Mercury all the way from the other side in the air. And Reverbo, with not a lot of health, is going to go start on this Gold Fury. You know, if they take out this support Geb, that could bode poorly for Bloodbath and Beyond. So here comes Jigs. Jaden gets the kill onto Reverbo, and Team Salt steals away that Gold Fury. No problemo. Meanwhile, Astro Squared trying to keep this going. Gets 1 kill. Gonna get stunned out, so really nothing there. But he's gonna fall to the chalk. Just a matter of time. And Master for Show takes his life. And now Jigs, the target of the entire Bloodbath and Beyond team, gonna jump over. He might get out, but there's El Chapo with that double dash. Here comes the rest of Team Blue. Good run, and that's it. Mercury takes out the Nemesis, and that's how you protect your teammate.
Now Nithra on the left-hand side wants a little bit more chalk. It's not the ideal target, so I think Nicholas giving chase could do a little bit better. Unstable Vortex, not going to connect. That probably the end. Chaos a little bit far forward, gonna get poked out. That might have been a crit there. Nicholas wants it. He's gonna threshold to move faster. Portal slightly out of range. Mid camp's responding soon. Right is gonna go to Bloodbath and Beyond. Master for Show securing that one for his boys. Nithra gets the left. That team fight was explosive. I love the Hail of Arrows, Barbed Arrow combination from Janin to just eliminate Geb off of the knockup. Really good. and then Jigs was just able to freely secure the Gold Fury.
Yeah, I just didn't like that play with Reverbo that low. I like to play for the Gold Fury, but you have to play a little bit safer there, Cret. You got to know how low you are and just how easily you're killed despite being a tank. And that's the story of that Gold Fury right there. And it basically gave Team Salt a 1,000 gold lead. 16 minutes in, we're looking at that 1,100 gold lead now. 1,700 experience going the way of Team Salt in blue. And the kills, 6-5.
6-5, pretty close. Gold, not that much either. Experience, just to be a little bit more specific, 2 levels on the jungler in favor of Team Salt. -1 on their hunter, -1 on their support, on their soul laner. Sorry, +2 on their support. And hold that thought. Right hand lane, Astro in trouble.
Astro gets ulted on, also gets hit by the slice and dice. Nowhere to help, but there's Mercury missing the special delivery. Master Fisho's going to ult onto Astro to really prevent anything coming out from the fat man himself. And they're going to go ahead and disengage as they don't want to fight the Giannis that's inevitably coming to aid.
Or at least he was considering inevitably coming to aid. So the disengage call...
They're back! Here they come, get stunned out by Astro. They want to come back now that that ultimate is on cooldown. Double dash under the tower is not going to be able to kill Air Cougar. Heal up by that shield, but Chaos is going to get the last hit with that ultimate from across the skies, quite literally. And Etheria gets the kill on his enemy jungler. Master Fisho's going to fall to the middle laner that made the rotation, and Reverbo once again, the focus of the brunt of this force. But can Mercury get out, Cret?
Mercury is just going to be able to barely slide out. Now Chaos
Great shield.
Going to get stunned. Nice shield. Nicholas can't get it. Wait, portal. It will go through that wall. Unstable vortex. Yeah, he's got the shotgun. Nice kill. Reverbo very low. Auto attacks should secure. Rolling away for now, but he's got nowhere to go. No fly zone. Tower will fall too.
That's... You know, that's exactly what I was talking about. About 10 minutes ago, Cret, we talked about how NJ Nick used the ultimate for offense, and I criticized that, and I said I'm going to look for more details to see how well he can play this character. Well, knowing the map well enough to know that that portal's not going to go into blue buff, but it's instead going to go around the tower and get that kill that way.
Oh, hold on. Left-hand side, Famous Hate in trouble. Mercury. You know, part of the problem with... Oh, hold that thought. Right-hand lane, NJ Nick in trouble, ulting out. 1 portal. 2 portal. Needs another one. There's the 3rd. He's gone.
And again, Nick must have heard the broadcast because he's just showing me how well he knows the geometry of this map with this character. That's really what makes you shine as a Giannis player, knowing the geometry, knowing where the furthest path via portal is, because that's how you get away from your enemy, and just nailing it. So NJ Nick, really no surprise there that our mid laner is really outstanding, as he's shown us a number of times that he knows how to play the game. So bringing in a new character, not a big deal for the veteran mid laner Nick.
I also want to point out just how hard it is to outrun a Nemesis with speed buff who's ulted you, has sprint, and has a Witchblade rank 2 and full boots. That's a lot of movement options and a lot of movement speed. You really do have to take a good path. Reverbo forced off Sentry Ward fight. Team Salt wins that one. NJ Nicholas waiting around in the middle lane. He really wants that tower, but he's seasoned enough to know that he can't just take it. He can't just walk up and hit it. He has to be careful. Nithra, a little bit more aggressive. He knows it's risky, but he really wants the tower. Jigs is going to provide some spacing. They will be able to get it. 500 gold in pocket.
Good catch over there. Taking a look at this left-hand lane. J-Man wants to make something happen. Uller, Axe. Hail of Arrows, no volley combo. That one's gonna miss. Looked like a stutter step on the stance chain, so that's not gonna happen. Gold Fury already started by the team in blue. Here comes Reverbo a little bit early, so this is gonna be a team fight. Reverbo just kind of waiting and hanging out, and Team Salt letting that happen.
Oh, hold on. Nithra on the left-hand side in a lot of trouble. Gonna Sonic Boom, but not in time. El Chapo finds the kill. 2 ultimates. 3 ultimates used to secure that one. Reverbo. Team Salt's gonna get the Gold Fury. Cataclysm comes out. Stormcall to follow up. Diminishing returns allow Janian to jump away rather soon, but he's being chased by so much. Heavenly Julian Sprint. They do stack it. It's so strong. He will finally fall, but he bought time for Astro to clean up Geb and Nuwan. Now, Master for Show getting kited. NJ Nicholas turning it around. has a portal up soon, trying to stay alive and buy some time. Astro just dishing out the damage, repeated cycles of his abilities. NJ Nick with the double tap. Massive Show trying to get away. Belcher the God should be soon. There it is. What can they follow up with? There's the slow from Zhang Kui. Unstable Vortex connects only with one. Jigs tanking the tower. Exorcism. Jigs has a belly flop very soon. NJ Nick through the wall. Who's going to get it? NJ Nick.
So Nick gets the unofficial double, while his mage partner in crime, Astro Squared, picks up the triple kill. And, you know, chasing that kill took a lot of time, Cred. That was about a 20-second kill right there.
Yeah.
Let me ask your professional opinion. Did they miss a fire giant?
No, because they have two mages. That's what I'm going to say. Yeah, I think Mercury was still dead. I think he just got to speed buff. Uller, we can see, just walked out of base. I don't think they would have had the damage to deal Fire Giant. And I think while Chalk was low on resources, he would have been able to disrupt sufficiently.
I like that play then. Chasing a kill is something, you know, in general, you always hear the term, you always hear the phrase, the platitude, if you will. Don't chase the kill, don't chase the... Sometimes it's worth it. And when there's no other objective for you to really obtain, that's when you need to go for it. But this is one objective too many. J-Man over here, sprint and leap already burned. Famous Hate is in the air. Here comes his friend El Chapu. Famous Hate gets his enemy Hunter with the ultimate, while Mercury takes him down as soon as he lands. Now it's jungler versus jungler. Both are very low, and El Chapu wants to run, and Etheria is ready to let him. Both were at about 10% HP. They kind of just agreed to disagree and walk away from each other, no problem.
Can we just talk about how good that Mercury play was right there? Because that was really cool. So he times the Sonic Boom and catches both players, drops the Mage You Look, turns around. El Chapo's like, all right, I got to fight, but it's a Mercury. I'm turning on my shield. Special delivery into the wall, gets the damage off. And El Chapo is forced to double dash away. Beautiful combination of abilities there coming out from your boy, Mytheria. Fun fact, formerly of Evil Empire, so played with Wolfie, Allied, and Nah in a past team. And Solit, for players who might recommend or remember him.
Solit is actually subbing on Team Thirst in the SPL right now. He will be taking place of the support if need be, but right now looks like we need a little bit more support on Bloodbath and Beyond. Knowing that they really don't want to take this fight, they're going to go ahead and just disengage off of the belly flop coming out of Jigs. And now we see all five members of the red team on this right-hand side of the map, whereas Team Salt is just sort of looking here. Nick is farming in his lane, as is Zhang Kui, and they're going to pull a pincer move. Right there's the bounce up, but there's nobody here from Team Salt to really follow up. Intoxicate's going to miss. It's just going to hit Famous Hate, and that's about it. So there's two members of Team Salt trying to capitalize off of that. Famous Hate already out of the program. On the other side, Nemesis being played by El Chapu, already by himself. Famous Hate takes down that Mercury that was aggressed on so much earlier before. Reverbo, half HP, trying to come around here, Kret, because he knows El Chapu needs the resistance. And they're going to go ahead. Good ultimate from Geb, but that's a dead Geb. And taking a look at the scoreboard, he's the only one with Hog 3 at the moment. If Team Salt can push Bloodbath and Beyond far away, this can be the Fire Giant, despite the fact that Mercury's down. That said, they're instead going to back and just lick their wounds.
It looks like they just want to kind of regroup. Unfortunately, there was a big chase coming out onto that Nemesis.
Yeah. And
that, I think, wasted an opportunity for Team Salt there, unfortunately. You know, you mentioned, and just to continue the small world effect, Soli is the sub for El Brochacho from Thirst. El Brochacho is a relative of El Chapo on Bloodbath and Beyond. They're related.
It is a very small world.
Smite community is a small world and whole. Everybody's played with everybody. You're like, yeah, look at this mid lane matchup. Oh yeah, they used to be lane partners, by the way. it's crazy. But NJ Nicholas in the mid lane is doing quite well for himself here on his Yanis. 5-1-7 is very respectable, but I want to give a definite shout out to Jigs, 0-1-15. That's a good support slash line.
That is a very good support slash line. And you know, we mentioned how small of a world that Smite is, but right now J-Man is aggressing onto Famous Hate, trying to make his world even smaller. The stun was good, but the arrows are not. Basics are about halfway there. Mercury's going to aggress underneath the tower, forcing Famous Hate into that ultimate. He's probably going to re-engage as soon as he falls, and he does. One punch and two punch. And that's the bottom line. Famous Hate back to the well. Nuwa ult not enough to secure it. And a beautiful portal coming out from the Giannis to prevent El Chapo from what was almost undoubtedly a kill. J-Man gonna miss the axe, and it's gonna be a kill no matter what. Astro Squared coming, but in tow, he's bringing 3 members of Bloodbath and Beyond. There comes the Jean Kui ult paired in tandem with the Get ult. NJ Nick bursts down that Nemesis. 3 versus 3 right here in this left-hand lane, folks. Good knock-up coming out from Reverbo. Jigs rooted in place from Chaos's passive, and a great ultimate from Intoxicate out of Jigs is gonna send Bloodbath and Beyond packing. They're gonna walk the other way. They don't want to take that anymore.
Looks like the call is going to be the Gold Fury from Team Salt. They think, all right, their ults are down, our ults are down. We have the advantage here because we have a Mercury. No one on the living roster of Bloodbath and Beyond can do quite as much damage. Nithra is sitting at about half health. That's respectable. This Gold Fury should go down for free. Important note, they're not going to use their Hand of the Gods on it just in case there's a Fire Giant call within 60 seconds. Good practices is really what it comes down to. They probably could have used Hog there. They just wanted to be safe.
And frankly, if you don't need it, don't use it. Nobody was there providing resistance. Air Cougar Astro Squared kind of moved out into the general area around the front entrance to middle lane just to see if anybody was coming. With no vision coming out from Bloodbath and Beyond near that Gold Fury, that was Team Salt for free.
Ooh, Fire Giant, though. Lots of members of Bloodbath and Beyond in the area. 4 with Rama in the left-hand lane. Mastiff Show takes some damage from Yanis, not too much. Yanis isn't really at critical mass just yet with the items. He's doing a lot of damage. He's just not doing stupid damage. There's eventually the point where you're like, I'm a shock, I'll be fine, and then you fall through a portal and lose your entire life bar. You're like, oh, I guess I'm not fine. But with the Rama split push, Rom can't rotate well, which means that Team Salt is forced to pull this Fire Giant, but this is also a 5v4, so it's a forced play on top of a different forced play. Nuwa ultimate will reveal, do some damage. Astro Squared unleashing those skill shots. Sonic Boom comes through him. Nithra looks like he's going to take a portal back to group back around, looking to get Reverbo, who's destroyed by Nicholas. They lost their left outer tower. They got 2 kills and a Fire Giant.
Yeah, I mean, that was just a situation where Bloodbath and Beyond knew that they had to bide their time, but they wasted just a little too much time. They wanted to wait just in case, and it just came too late. Now Team Salt, with that Fire Giant in tow, 2 members above Bloodbath and Beyond, they're going to aggress onto this middle lane tower. And with both Fire Giant and just the sheer numbers of them, Kret, nothing Bloodbath and Beyond could do.
I don't know if you guys saw this, but Bacchus belly flop into portal is so funny. You go up, and then you go down, and then you just go around. And you're like, oh, great. I'm just stuck here, falling. This is wonderful. It's really funny combo. I love Yanis portals and combo. Epic uppercut's the best, though.
Yeah.
Can we have a Kumba player?
One of my favorite interactions as we see this Team Salt siege down left-hand lane. Bloodbath and Beyond really shouldn't defend any of these towers. Instead, opt to just play defense on the Phoenix. They're going to go ahead and push up. Actually, Mastiff Show is going to throw an axe, and Jigs is going to return the favor, bouncing on in with that belly flop, but he's going to take a lot of poke for that as he's also tanking the tower. That might actually stop Team Salt's aggression, and that's going to force the tank back to base. So that that was a very, very gutsy play coming out from Mastiff Show, and it did pull out correctly.
Merc ult used defensively, sort of like an Apollo split push ult. You're just like, all right, there are 4 people coming to me. I don't know where they are. I'm going to ult out. Just because. Unfortunately, unlike an Apollo ult, you can't check your work and sort of fly around and be like, oh, here they are. But Nithra's just gonna, you can't taunt either. It's a little bit too fast to taunt. Nithra though is gonna pick up some lifesteal here. So triple crit into lifesteal. I want to see Titan's Bane last item, but this is really a point where Mercury does too much damage.
Yeah, Mercury starts getting that passive. So for those of you that don't know, the way Mercury's passive works, it's not just straight power off of movement speed, it's also the distance you travel. Basically, your first basic attack after an initiation does way too much damage. And so that's what we're going to be seeing out of this Mercury. And another pincer maneuver coming out from Team Salt. El Chapu stuck between a rock and a harder place right here. That's the basic we're talking about, folks. Doing about 60% of that Nemesis's life with a single left click. And here comes the cavalry. All three members of Team Salt. They're going to chase. J-Man understands that that's not the best use of his time. He's instead going to come back to this left-hand lane and join Jigs and Astro, as that kill by Mercury was inevitable.
Sometimes you really want a kill. And that is a very fast Nemesis, which makes things difficult. But three members grouping up towards the left. Phoenix Nithra did use his Sonic Boom, but 4 ultimates remain. Oh, no, Sonic Boom is back off of cooldown right now. 5 ultimates available. This is the fight. Sonic Boom charged up. The question is, when will they go in?
Looking for an opportunity. This is as tense can get. Jigs looking for something, gets a stun, into the back line, gets the knockup, misses the intoxicate though, but here comes the rest of the team. NJ Nick chased out with a lot of damage, and Chaos gonna claim that life with that long-range ultimate. J-Man also being pushed out, as is Mercury. This one is going the way of Bloodbath and Beyond, unless there's a re-engage, which would be rather precarious. That fight is gonna go to Bloodbath and Beyond, folks. Good, great, fantastic defense on that Phoenix, and Team Salt actually picked it up. They got the objective, but they're going to be pushed out with a lot of damage put onto them. Claiming this gold fear as they are right now, that's going to put things in their favor.
Yeah, what it comes down to is, while they lost the fight, they got the objective, so it's fine. There's every team is different, but every team's like, this is what we can trade to get a Phoenix, or in this case the Far Phoenix, which is the most important one because it's furthest from the Fire Giant and applies the most map pressure. I think 1 kill onto Nick, who is worth a lot, and you know, obviously it's not the kill you want to give up. Still, that's definitely worthwhile, but Team Salt needs to keep the pressure on these Phoenixes. Mid Phoenixes spawn. It will be half health, half damage for the rest of the game. Team Salt needs to keep that down nonetheless. They have to keep Phoenix control. El Chapo is back, is interrupted. We've seen how fast he is before. Not going to get knocked up there. Nithra giving chase, but not going to find it. Fire Giant does spawn rather soon. It's blinking, and this FG is going to die before Bloodbath and Beyond can even get there.
Yeah, this is going to be pretty much a repeat of what we just saw earlier, where Bloodbath and Beyond waited just a little too long before they engaged, and a repeat of last time. Ultimate from Master for Show is going to silence, but after the hog goes out, blue team with the Fire Giant buff, and they're putting a lot of damage. NJ Nick murders 3 different people with 1 single ultimate. The crits are just going crazy, folks. 1 person stays alive, and Team Salt, in spectacular fashion, takes the game at the 33-minute mark. They're going on to the finals.
What a match for Team Salt. That final fight was a great way to end it. We'll be back with our finals match, Return versus Salt, in just a few minutes, guys, so stay tuned for our last match of the day, a best of 3.